Hi friends, welcome to my channel Financial Hacker. IPO of the Heranba Industries Limited already hit the market and subscribed 84% on the first day. Should we subscribe? Will there be any listing gains? Will the investment be viable for long-term perspective? And what brokers are saying about this IPO? To answer all these questions, let's quickly jump into the company details, products range, financials, positives and negatives. This is Kvn Mahesh and let's start our video. Heranba Industries Limited is a crop protection, chemical manufacturer, exporter and marketing company based out of Vapi, Gujarat. This company is into production of intermediates, technicals and formulations. And they are one of the leading domestic producers of synthetic pyrethroids like cypermethrin, alpha-cypermethrin, deltamethrin, etc. Their pesticides ranges include insecticides, herbicides, fungicides and public health products for pest control. And their business also expanded to domestic institutional sales of technicals, that is they will manufacture the technicals and sell the same to domestic companies. And they are also into exports of technicals. They export the technicals in bulk quantities to customers outside India. Branded formulations, they are also into formulation exports and they are also into public health products. Let's have a look into the history of the company. Heranba Industries started their manufacturing activity in the year 1996 with production of an intermediate product CMAC. By the financial year 2001 and 2002, they forward integrated their company into manufacturing of various technicals like metamethrin, cypermethrin, alpha-cypermethrin and deltamethrin. By the end of the financial year 2004-05, they further expanded their product range to formulations, which are final products sold to farmers as pesticides, herbicides, fungicides for crop protection. We can see a constant growth in the product range. The company is present in their entire product value chain of the agrochemical industries. That is, they will produce intermediates, they will produce technicals and also the formulations. With respect to exports, the company has exported their products to more than 60 countries in Latin America, Middle East countries, African countries, Southeast Asian countries in financial year 2020. And as of November 2020, their international distribution partners have successfully obtained 371 registrations of their technicals and formulations in 41 countries. Their international distribution partners have presently filed 172 registration applications for their technicals and formulations, which are pending before the regulatory authorities in 41 countries. You can see they are constantly tapping new markets to enter into tie-ups with reputed distribution to expand their presence. Heranba has an extension distribution network in India supported by a skilled sales force. They have more than 9,400 dealers having access to 21 depots of the company across 16 states and 1 union territory in India, supporting the distribution of their products. And also the company has 3 well-equipped manufacturing units in Vapi, Gujarat, with an aggregate manufacturing capacity of around 14,000 metric tons per annum. They also educate farmers regarding the benefits of using their products by conducting farmer training camps, participating in village level programs and exhibitions to establish a direct relationship with farmer communities all over India. And the impact of the lockdown to company was minimal as the government has given relaxation to the agro products manufacturing. Let's have a look into promoters of the company. The company was incorporated as Heranba Industries Chemicals Private Limited on May 17, 1992. The company was promoted by Sadasiv K. Shetty and Raghuram K. Shetty. They are brothers. And they have experience of more than 3 decades in agrochemical industry. And they have been on the board since September 1994. Let's have a look into the pre-issue shareholding by the promoters and their average cost of acquisitions. The number of shares held by the Sadasiv K. Shetty is 1,30,51,796 crores and he has acquired at an average cost of 1.7 rupee per share. And Raghuram Shetty has held around 1,41,21,984 crores with an average acquisition cost of 1.33. Let's have a quick overview of the objects of the issue. The objective of the issue is to meet the business working capital requirements and to meet general corporate purpose and to meet the public issue expense. The issue open date is on 23rd Feb 2021 and it closes on 25th Feb 2021. The allotment will be done on 2nd March 2021. Shares will be credited to the demat account of the investors on 4th March 2021 and the tentative date for listing in BSE and NSE is on 5th March 2021. We can see over here the face value per share is 10 per equity share. The IPO price band is 626 to 627 per equity share, and a retail individual investor can apply for up to 13 lots. That is, he can apply a maximum of 299 shares worth 1,87,473 rupees. We can see the issue size is around 625 crores, out of which fresh issue is amount aggregating 60 crores, and the offer for sale by the promoters and their group is 90,50,000 equity shares. Offer for sale by promoters and their group is 90,15,000 equity shares. We can see the breakup of issue is for qualified institutional bidders can bid up to 50% of the issue. Non-institutional bidders can bid up to 15% of the issue. Retail investors can bid up to 35% of the issue. And the book running lead managers for the issue are MK Global Financial and Batliwala and Karani Securities. And the register to the issue is Big Share Services Private Limited. We can see over here the pre-issue and post-issue shareholding. Promoters and promoters group are holding 98.85% of shares before pre-issue. Post-issue their shareholding is around 74.15%, and public they are holding around 25.85% post-issue. We can see the net worth of the company as on 31st March 2008 is around 157 millions, and it has increased to 320 millions by the year end 31st March 2020. And also you can see that revenue from operations has increased from 745 millions to 951 millions, even though there is a negative growth in the year 2020. That is because of the COVID situation in Q4 quarter. But we can witness a positive growth by the half year end September 2020. There is a raise in profit before tax from 76 millions to 128 millions. And net profit percentage also there has been raised from 6.29% to 10.21% by the year end 2020. EPS of the companies has also shown a positive growth from rupees 12 per share to 25 per share by the year end 31st March 2020. Net asset value per share also has increased from 40.29 per share to 82.15 per share by the year end 31st March 2020. With respect to financials, we can see there is a positive growth from year 2018 to 2020, which they have. By having a quick look on the financials, we can easily say there is a positive growth in every aspect of the financials. As I have already mentioned, they will export their formulations and technicals to outside India. Almost 47% of the revenue from operations comes from overseas. Here we can see that in the year 2020, around 469 crores are from the overseas operations. Around 13.25% from China, 7.4% from Iran, and around 2.8% of the total revenue from Thailand, etc. Let's have a look into our revenue from operations with business segment wise. From domestic institutional sales of technicals, they are getting around 31.64% of the revenue. From technical exports, 96.48%. From formulation exports, there are around 12.83%. From branded formulations, around 12.6% of the revenue. Public health, around 6.3% of the revenue. Let's have a quick overview of industry. India has emerged as the largest pyrethroid manufacturer over the years. More than half of the global demand for pyrethroids comes from China. And China's adoption of the Blue Sky program to realize green GDP has led to the shutdown of several chemical plants in China. This in turn is expected to result in higher volume of pyrethroids being exported out of India. As we know that pyrethroids are cost-effective alternatives for conventionally used insecticides. India is one of the most dynamic generic pesticide manufacturers in the world and is the fourth largest pesticide manufacturer after China, US and Japan. The industry is growing at a compounded annual growth rate of nearly 7.4% during 2014 and 19. The Indian pyrethroids market is currently experiencing a positive growth. In 2019, the market reached a sales value of $110 million. Reports mentioned that overall we can expect the demand for pyrethroids in India to remain positive during 2020-25, exhibiting a compounded annual growth rate of 19.6% and reaching a sales value of around $205 million by 2025. If everything goes well, this will have a positive financial impact for Heranba Industries Limited. It has a presence in wide range of products across the entire value chain of the synthetic pyrethroid. Heranba is into the production of intermediates, technicals and formulations which form part of the entire value chain of synthetic pyrethroids and other active ingredients in the agrochemicals industry. They have product registrations in the domestic and also in the international markets, which enables global outreach. And they have also a strong distribution network. As I mentioned, the company has more than 9,400 dealers having access to 21 depots of the company across 16 states and 1 union territory in India in order to meet the demand of their products from farmers. And also they educate farmers on the care and protection extended by their products over their crops by conducting farmer training camps, participating in village level programs and district exhibitions to establish a direct relationship with the farmer communities all over India. Various domestic and multinational agrochemical companies operating in and outside India are companies' customers for the technicals manufactured by them, who use companies' products to manufacture their own formulations and other products. This diverse and stable base of customers provide the necessary revenue stability to the company, as not more than 20.85% and 18.57% of their aggregate sales comes from the top 10 customers for the financial year 2020 and the period ended September 30, 2020 respectively. Experienced promoters and management team. As I have already mentioned that companies' promoters have more than 30 years of individual experience in the agrochemical sector and are adequately qualified to manage the operations of the company from manufacturing, exports and marketing. Their promoters completely involved in the day-to-day efforts of the company and future business strategies. Let's have a look into the comparison with the listed peers. The return of net worth of the company is 30.47%, is in top position, and also net asset value is around 82.14, which is second around, and also their net asset value per share is around 82.14, which stands second among their peers, and also EPS is around 25.03 per share after 371.03 by Bharat Rasayana Limited. It stands second in the list. From this also we can say that company has a significant position in the industry with respect to EPS, net asset value and return on net worth. And also with the ongoing US-China trade wars, China's adoption of Blue Sky program, increased government spending and a lot of other factors have provided a lot of scope for growth also for the agrochemicals companies in India. The risk factors to be considered for this company are: there are outstanding legal proceedings involving the company's promoters and certain directors which may adversely affect the business financial conditions and result of operations. And also its promoters received statutory warnings from SEBI in 2011 as part of administrative warnings issued to 780 entities in trading activity of Crores Infotech Limited in 2007-8. However, the promoters were not charged by the market regulator but advised to be more careful. And some of the group companies have incurred losses in the past, and certain group companies had negative net worth in the past, which may have adverse effect on the reputation and business of the company. Shakti Bioscience Limited has lost around 14 million in 2019 and around 16 millions in 2020. Heranba Industries Limited, with respect to Heranba Industries Limited, one of the group company has faced loss in financial year 2010. However, it has a positive. However, it has in 2020 they have experienced a profit of around 0.42 million. And also there is a negative net worth in the past for Shakti Bioscience Limited, around 474 millions in financial year 2019 and 534 millions for the financial year 2020. This needs to be considered as the reputation of the company, as one of the group companies had negative net worth. their reputation might affect. And also company had negative cash flows in recent fiscals. Sustained negative cash flows could adversely affect our business financial condition and results of the operation. Also we can witness a company had negative cash flows in the recent fiscals. Sustained negative cash flows could adversely impact the business financial condition and results of the operations. Negative cash flows has been rising from 246 millions to 520 millions, and from also financing activities, negative cash flows as on for the year end 2018 is 258 millions. However, for the year end 31st March 2020, it is around 199 millions. Company have certain contingent liabilities that have not been provided for in company's financials, which if realized could adversely affect the financial condition. Directors Sadashiv K. Shetty, Raghuram K. Shetty, Sujata S. Shetty and Vanita R. Shetty were disqualified to act as directors under section 164(2) of the Companies Act 2013. That is, they have delayed in filing of annual returns and financial statements, and later the disqualification has been removed after filing the annual returns. These points also need to be considered. And operations of the company are subject to high working capital requirements. Its inability to obtain and or maintain sufficient cash flows, credit facilities, and other sources of funding in a timely manner to meet the requirements of working capital or payment of debts could adversely affect the operations. The company has made company law related non-compliance in the past, like delay in appointment of company secretary, audit committee and remuneration committee, internal auditor, CSR committee, which may attract penal actions. And financial results could be affected. And any restriction or decline in the exports to China, the country from which company receive a substantial portion of overseas revenue, or any other general restriction or curtailment of exports of any products the company manufactures could adversely affect the business financial condition and results of the operation. The company's business is dependent on the manufacturing facilities which are geographically located in one area, that is in and around Vapi. Any shutdown of operations in and around Vapi may have an adverse effect on the business and results of the operations. This point I have mentioned keeping in view of the corona. And company has recently incorporated a subsidiary in China named Changzhou Heranba Crop Science and Technology Company Limited to streamline the exports and imports in that country. Though company have not infused any funds in the company, that is a subsidiary, if it is unable to explore new opportunities in China, it may adversely affect the business prospects. And post-issue promoter and promoter group will continue to retain significant control in the company, which will allow them to influence the outcome of the matters submitted to shareholder for approval. Let's have a quick look into the brokers' recommendations. Almost all of the brokers has given a positive view, and they have their view on issue is to subscribe the IPO. Grey market premium. What is meant by grey market premium? It is a premium amount at which grey market IPO shares are traded before they get listed in the stock exchange. In simple words, the stock of the company that came up with an IPO bought and sold outside the stock market. The grey market premium reflects how the IPO might react on a listing day. As on 17th February 2021, the grey market premium for the share are quoted around 182 to 185, and as on 22nd Feb 2021, it was quoted at 213 to 215. On 22nd Feb 2021, it was quoted around 213 to 215. From this, we can expect a positive reaction on the listing day, and we can expect decent listing gains. Every person has different levels of risk bearing capacity, so it is not possible to give a single investment idea to everyone. We strongly advise you to make proper research before taking any significant investment. As the financials and strategies of the company are showing a positive view, we recommend a strong buy for moderate risk takers in long term perspective. Thank you.